My name is Lulezim Ukaj. Thanks everybody for coming on this very cold Saturday and this rather cold room still. I will be talking about a tool that I built over Christmas, and it's a classic car diagnostic tool, more or less AI-powered troubleshooting for classic cars. A little bit about me. So I'm originally trained as a logician. I worked as a multimedia artist for a couple of years, internationally exhibiting. I MC sometimes. I just MC'd. I've been moderating. Lastly, it was the Google's Framework Angular conference. It's the biggest in Germany, which was also a fun experience, and having a lot of discussion panels with the international team of the Google tech team. And I've been also a little bit of a software developer in between. Currently, I'm going a little bit in the consultancy work and will be emceeing a little bit more. And now to kind of my domain expertise, why classic cars. You can see this picture. This is me in Italy when I almost died a couple of years ago. Before I got a baby and a daughter, I was really into cars. I had all the time of the world. And so I spent a lot of time of like buying old Italian cars mostly and then restoring them. That was how I spent my free time. And that led to becoming a little bit like the car guy in my friends and family kind of thing. So whenever there's a problem, I usually love to help. So what is the problem with classic cars? Even though that's the same engineering setup, every car runs with gas, there's an engine, you need air for the combustion, ignition, injection. They are very, very different. You see this because there's so many classic cars shops who are specialized in one brand or one model. I gave 3 examples. I censored to not get into some copyright issues. There's this down there's, for example, a shop that does only the Mercedes 300 SL. It's one brand and one model. Seems a little bit weird, but when you know that they're worth over 1 million, then it makes sense. And or there's a lot of Italian specialized kind of shops, or Porsches. There's a lot in Neukölln also where I live. Also another part is OBD-II, which is the earliest kind of diagnostic system that got introduced 1996, I think. In the US it became standard, so mid-90s it kind of became. Before the cars, they didn't even have that. So it was a lot of like experience-based guessing and knowledge of the mechanic. But even then, you have a diagnostic system, you have an engine light. Maybe some of you have experienced that before. And then that can mean a list of things. I've written down now 5 things, but it can be actually more. And it's also car specific, which is the more kind of probable problem that you're going to have. Another problem, big problem, is finding specialists is quite a problem, an industry problem. Very often it's passionate old guys. There's also, of course, a lot of women also. And yeah, they're retiring faster than it's being kind of passed on the knowledge. So and they're very, very expensive. This is a short summary of the thing. What I said. In general, you could kind of summarize it up. Classic car owners are underserved. So one more thing maybe. Big thing is it's a huge do-it-yourself culture, as with my example. So people love doing it themselves. It's a passion thing. This is an article from the German magazine. It's called the Manager magazine, and it talks about like how a lot of manager of big German companies love spending their free time in their workshops and at least try to repair it themselves. So then the question comes, is this really like, is this a thing? Is this a thing worth exploring? Is this a thing worth kind of spending time on? The numbers say yes. This is the left number of 3.8 billion is only the kind of annually classic car repair revenue in Germany. The total value of classic cars in Germany is 31 billion. And if you go on Europe, it's getting much bigger, obviously. And if you go worldwide, obviously the numbers are insane. There's maybe like a short in between, a lot of very successful funds who have invested only in classic cars, and they had some of the biggest growth of all. No. The solution is actually kind of a RAG system, a RAG agentic system that I built. I used a lot of commercial services that has one very simple reason for me. It's the solution that I built is a drag and drop solution, so it can be scaled quite fast. And the database that I built now is with this first car that I showed. Because I have this emotional connection to it, but also because I've spent so much time that I know the car kind of in and out, and I know how to clean the data very, very fast. And so I use a embedding model by OpenAI. You can use whichever you want. The only kind of requirement that I had for myself is that it's multilingual, because now when you spend all the time in the forums, you try to learn the things, you're kind of limited to your language. Okay, you can go to the English one, I can go a little bit to the Italian, but that's it. But there's a lot of knowledge also in the Polish forums. There's a lot of knowledge in the French forums. And with the multilingual kind of embedding, you can combine that knowledge and make it available for everybody else. So I sent this in a vector space. I use Pinecone that has been very easy to work with, and also it's very scalable. I re-rank the kind of retrieve or the vectors very early to its quality control. And also you don't want to have too many like answers. You want to have quality, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong, but you don't want to have too many answers. You want to have the top kind of most probable solutions. Then I have a memory layer on top of it that has, usually memory layers are for like you ask a question and then you ask the same questions again. And so the memo is the company, it remembers it, so it doesn't need to retrieve, it doesn't need to go through the whole system again, it gives you the answer. But for me, it's very interesting. No, I want to know if you ask the question again and he asks it again, it means that the first solution didn't work. So let's go to the second one. And this is so, it saves me the time of kind of investing too much time in a reasoning model. I can just bypass that by short kind of memory, cheap memory layer. And then I put it in an LLM. I use Claude because I just have it and it's there. I have a live demo prepared for you. Let's go to it, that you see what it is. It's an interface that I built. It's very cheaply built, also with Angular and stuff. Don't stay too much on the style. So we could ask, I want to say first, I made it in German because it's for the German market first. But obviously it's like changing the language is more or less one prompt in Cloud Code in the end. So you could say, sorry for the German now. Ich habe keine Leistung im unteren Drehzahlbereich, meaning I have very little power in lower RPM part. I don't know if many people or some of you know cars. It's an issue sometimes, and just means it's like when you press the throttle in the beginning, it doesn't really start, it goes on first. So it goes. We need to give it a couple of seconds. And then you have, based on the rack system, more or less a list of the top 4 issues that could be. In this case, it tells me, oh my God, I should have put, I don't know what Drosselklappensensor is in English, to be honest. It's basically the part that kind of regulates how much air enters your engine. And very often, because you have like an air filter, but it doesn't filter out all the kind of dirt, it gets dirty. And that has huge implications because it's such a fine kind of instrument. This is in 75% of all the kind of people that have asked this question on the internet issue. Next one is verschlissene oder falsch eingestellte Zündanlage. It's your ignition system. There's something wrong. Can be also dirty again. Dirt is a big part with classic cars. Or it can be broken. Zündkerzen are the ignition handles. Yeah. Or it can be your air filter. Or it can be obviously the fuel pump. Then you get a little bit of a diagnosis, kind of help how to diagnose each kind of the issues, and some warning that it's an AI and don't take it for granted, obviously. Yeah. And here you get also some sources, so you can read on yourself a little bit. So future scope of this, because it feels like a little bit like a simple solution. It is a very simple solution. To be honest, I'm proud of the simple solution, but there's a little bit space for more. And the space for more is it can be connected to a parts API, so it can suggest you which parts to buy immediately. And the other one is it can look YouTube and all the web on repair manuals, send you a video how to do it, send you all the information that you need. What I also, I think is something that I'm quite excited of it is the learning experience of it, because now I have all the data, but I'm going to get more data. So my predictions are going to get better and better and better by everybody using it. And yeah, I love LandGraph and N8N because it's just so, I love the visual kind of part and the kind of the frameworks of agentic that are popping out. Some people are not so into it, but I just feel things. Big question that arises. Why do I need this AI tool? Can I not just ask ChatGPT? Good question. Answer is yes, you can, but you're not going to get the same quality for a bunch of different reasons. This is Andrew Ng, one of the kind of big guys in AI, and he's been preaching data-centric AI for a while. So meaning like focus on your data. We all know the kind of saying garbage in, garbage out, and it kind of goes in that direction. Meaning what I provide is data quality with my expertise, and also the memory layer, meaning it learns from the usage. If you use ChatGPT, first of all, you have to prompt quite advanced. My machine does that for you, the prompting. And second, even if you prompt quite advanced, you're never going to get like the kind of info if you ask it again that you get from kind of this tool. Because if you ask ChatGPT, okay, what I asked, I have no power when I start the car, or it doesn't start, and then you get a solution and a manual, even though let's just assume you prompt really like deep and like limit the scope that it has to fetch. If you ask it again, it didn't work, it doesn't know. It will give you very, very similar answers. So you have to have a lot of knowledge to get into it and use it. Then monetization. I think there's a lot of space and a lot of room. I mean, disclaimer, since I've been using a lot of pictures, this is for educational purposes only. In case hypothetically you want to monetize it, there is a lot of space to monetize, not so much for the tool usage. I think the biggest kind of asset is this data that you get, and also obviously the parts sales. If it's in cooperation with the big car companies or with the car sale kind of providers. Thanks to Christoph. And thank you.